implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different?
We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that are questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
To you, our viewer, thank you very much for always being there.
Hello and thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Olajide Bello. First, the headlines. As more results emerge from supplementary elections, governorship aspirants and 8 others reject delegate list ahead of PDP governorship primary in Kogi State. Stop playing lip service to the inclusion of Nigerian women in governance, civil society groups tell institutions. DG World Trade Organization calls for building resilience in the global value chain. Some smiling, others waiting. That is the situation currently among candidates participating in the supplementary elections in the 24 states. Miel Gidi reports on the exercise.
117, 118.
Not all elections are equal. Some are more equal than others. 2 governorship, 5 senatorial, 31 House of Representatives, 58 state houses of assembly elections on a supplementary journey. In all, the 2 governorship elections standing out. In Adamawa State, PDP and APC jostling for 37,000 votes to settle a difference of 31,000, while in Kebbi State, 91,000 prized votes up to settle a 45,000 difference. Election materials arrive early in some polling units, while in others slightly late. And in terms of voters' turnout, a mixed reaction.
Presidential election, it was crowded. During the governorship, it was crowded. Actually, just this one is just a single election.
In Kebbi, the turnout has been quite impressive. There is election in their polling units, so it's not taking place in every polling unit. So our publicity was targeted at the places where elections will take place today.
Rivers is actually very on point. It took us a minimum of about, let's say, 50 seconds for it to go through.
Whether mudslide or landslide, the process must end this time around.
This is a supplementary election.
Right.
The main election has already taken place. So whatever the situation is, whatever the level of voter turnout is, there must be a conclusion to the process today.
And for the party agents, cordiality above conflict.
The agents have signed an agreement that there will be no any misunderstanding between them, and the process have gone successfully.
Just like my junior brother of the APC said,
The conduct is fair, free, and credible.
Having satisfied results in most National Assembly and state constituency elections already out, but the big two in Adamawa and Kebbi states still being awaited. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
And indeed, we await the results from these two states, and incidentally, we hear that results have started trickling in from Kebbi State. For an update from that end, let's join our correspondent Iyabode Olorunshola. Good morning, Iyabo. What is the situation now? We hear some results are coming in already. Do give us an update.
Yes, good morning, Olajide Bello. Results have started to trickle in Kebbi State. We have the results of 5 governorship results from 5 local governments, with APC leading in 4 local governments and PDP leading, 1 local government. We also have the House of Assembly results from Calgo local government, with APC also taking the lead from that other local government. Other results have begun to trickle in, but the center, I'm right in the center now, and as you can see, we have not started collation because it has been scheduled for 11 o'clock.
Besides the results that have been trickling in, what other things do you think characterize the whole process of the elections from that zone?
Well, the electoral process has been smooth. I've been on the field, I've gone to 4 local governments, and there was no case of apathy anywhere, but the results are taking time to trickle in. That of senatorial and 2 House of Assembly seats at Kamba is also ongoing. Nobody is sleeping in Kebbi State at the moment. Everybody is sorting, counting, collating, and by 11, I hope to give you an update of what they have been able to collate.
All right. Many thanks, Iyabode Olorunshola, our correspondent there from Birnin Kebbi. We'll definitely get back to you to keep us up to speed with happenings from that zone. Many thanks.
Stand by.
And in Imo State, voters have described the State House of Assembly and the House of Representatives supplementary elections as an improvement, and the February 25 and March 18 general elections as peaceful. They drew their conclusion from the early arrival of electoral officers and voting materials. But Egbujo, who monitored the election, has the details.
This Saturday supplementary election is born out of the initial challenges faced with the February 25 and March 18 general elections, which disrupted the conclusion of the process. Areas where the supplementary elections were conducted in Imo State include Mbitolu Ikeduru Federal Constituency, Ahia-Zumbise, Isu, and Idiato South State constituencies. As some of the polling units visited, it was observed that electoral officers and electoral materials arrived early, while accreditation and voting were done simultaneously without hitches.
The process and the exercise is going well. As you can see, there is absolute tranquility and peace. We don't have any issue, no difficulty. Everything is going well.
We had a very peaceful election in Mbitoli, in this Iran election, and even the previous ones we've had.
Well, for now, I see everything is going normal. Since I came, I don't see any crisis. This is going to start soon.
There were, however, alleged cases of ballot box snatching at booth 012 Ezihu Obokwe Hall, which disrupted the election temporarily, but was eventually resolved with the help of security agents. In Owerri, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Usman Ahmed Ododo, former Auditor General for Local Government in Kogi State, has won the state APC governorship primary election. Correspondent Solomon Aiden reports that this was ratified at the party's convention in Lokoja.
Ahmed Usman Ododo is herewith, hereby, and heretofore returned as the duly elected governorship candidate of the APC for the November 2023 governorship elections.
That was the secretary of the 7-man Kogi APC Governorship Primary Election Committee at the Election Collation Center in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. 17 aspirants declared intent for the governorship primary election, out of which 7 participated in the election at the party's election result ratification convention attended by critical stakeholders of the party in Lokoja. It was a resounding acceptance of the party's standard bearer by the special delegates.
With your support, our great party, APC, will be victorious in the next governorship election, and we shall consolidate on the gains of the new direction agenda in the state.
Governor Yahaya Bello, while congratulating party faithful for the rank-of-free primaries, urged them to shun sentiments and work assiduously for the success of the party at the November polls.
We will give him the maximum support to succeed.
He also charged the APC supporters to preach and continue to build on the existing peace in the state for the benefit of all. Kogi State governorship election is slated for November this year. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, former Deputy Governor of Kogi State and People's Democratic Party governorship aspirant Abayomi Awoniyi and 8 other aspirants have rejected the party's primary delegates list with allegations bordering on mutilation of the original list. Jacob Sonny reports.
The press conference in Lokoja was prompted by what the 8 aspirants for the governorship seat in Kogi State under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, regarded as an abnormality. Abayomi Awoniyi, Bolufemi Rotimi, Tajuddin Yusuf, and other stakeholders from Kababunu Aziz of the state are alleging that the 21 local government areas delegate list have been tampered with and replaced with non-party members.
With me here is a photocopy of the outcome of that Congress, which has been duly certified by INEC as being the authentic result of what transpired on the 29th. We have copies of the entire 21 local governments and the entire 239 wards here contained. However, by the time the Ningi committee would write their report, we noticed a major lapse, i.e. about 158 names had been switched from what was contained in this report, duly certified by the INEC.
They promised to adopt other legitimate means in addressing their fears if nothing is done before the convention. Jacob Sani, NT News.
The immediate past Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temitope Silva, has emerged winner of the All Progressives Congress APC governorship primary election in Bayelsa State. Temitope Silva scored 50,061 votes to defeat 5 other aspirants to emerge as APC governorship candidate for the November 11 governorship election in Bayelsa State. The report.
The APC adopted direct primary, which held in 105 wards across the 8 local government areas of the state. At the end of the process, which commenced Friday 14 to Saturday 15 April 2023, the chairman APC Primary Election Committee for Bayelsa State, Major General Ahmed Jibrin, retired, declared Chief Temitope Silva as the winner of the exercise at the party secretariat in Yenagoa. The panel went further to conduct an affirmative exercise with 5 ad hoc delegates from each of the 105 wards to affirm the outcome of the process. Meanwhile, some contestants of the APC Guba primary have accepted the outcome of the polls, describing it as a credible process.
I don't think that there's anybody who is enchanted. I, for one, all things also good to them that love the Lord. Therefore, I want to congratulate the winner of this election.
I will not consider myself having won an election against fellow aspirants. No victor, no vanquished. And I adopt that in toto.
The Bayelsa State governorship election is scheduled for November 11, 2023. In Yenagoa, Baratwaipre Awe, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission has again cancelled the supplementary election into Ikonoini Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. The State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Cyril Omorogbe, at a media briefing in Uyo, said the exercise was marred with thuggery and violence just when the collation of results was commencing.
They didn't snatch the beavers. Okay. At about 12, I had about 10 polling units out of 17 that had been disrupted. The commission went there to conduct election. Okay, and the people of Ikono, perhaps the people that were involved, actually decided to disrupt that process. We had even more at this, on this election. And but then, what do you do when people are, perhaps bent on making sure, disrupting whatever it is, the process? They went there to do the same thing again in terms of disruption and, perhaps even shooting at an individual that was there, a youth copper. And at the end, at this point, that election actually is technically cancelled. That's the word.
Clement Barikwe reports that the supplementary elections was held in 17 polling units across Ikonoini Federal Constituency. Ahead of the inauguration of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Coalition of All Progressives Congress support groups have unveiled plans to offer free services towards the speedy achievement of the renewed hope agenda. Saliu Gwanora reports.
One of such is the Progressives Advisory Forum for Good Governance, whose members say they remain resolute to ensuring the actualization of the contract between the electorate and those given the mandate to lead under the platform of APC.
As Nigerians prepare to usher in new leadership for the country, evidently, the people are excited because they have implicit confidence in the Tinubu-Shettima incoming administration, and so are positive about the great development the country will experience moving forward.
The coalition of APC groups is, however, optimistic that Nigeria's abundant human resources is a blessing towards fast-tracking and sustaining the country's democratic gains.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always been known for his ability to scout the best talent in governance and administration. Based on this, we have no doubt that he will make the best choice in assembling his team.
The groups affirmed that Nigeria's 24 years of uninterrupted democracy is a clear testimony of the collective will of the citizens to promote unity. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
A civil society group, Gender Strategy Advancement International, is urging institutions to stop paying lip service to the inclusion of Nigerian women in governance. This is coming on the heels of the expected principal officers to lead the next National Assembly. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The incoming government.
The need to tackle the structural and social barriers that prevent women from fully participating in politics informed this meeting. Gender Strategy Advancement International identifies such barriers to include discriminatory laws, gender stereotypes, and violence against women in politics.
Only 15 states in Nigeria have women in their state assemblies, and the rest don't. So we need to really demand that these issues follow through the National Gender Policy revised.
Women aspirants for the leadership of the next National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, should be given a chance by members-elect. Gender Strategy Advancement International appeals. The 5 gender bills not passed by the 9th Assembly may be considered by a female speaker to compensate the decline of women in the past election. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you live from Abuja. More reports when we return after this break. Glad to know you're still there. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says Africa has witnessed steady growth in multiple sectors since its independence. Delivering a lecture virtually at the Africana Conference of the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy titled Africa 2050 Making Growth Work, the Vice President gave the example of the gross domestic product of sub-Saharan Africa, which was estimated to be about $31 billion in 1960, now $1.17 trillion, when life expectancy has risen from 42 to 62 years in the same period. Vice President Osinbajo said likewise the International Monetary Fund World Economic Outlook for October 2022 projected that sub-Saharan Africa will be the second fastest growing region in the world at 3.7%, despite the challenges of COVID-19 and other global socio-economic upheavals within the same period. The conference looked into how Africa's government and institutions can pursue the right policies and develop infrastructure that will generate economic opportunities for their growing populations. Global value chains are the backbone of trade, owing to the fact that it makes up to 45 to 65% of world trade and helps increase the spread of income per capita of developing countries. Director General World Trade Organization Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala at the World Bank IMF spring meetings in Washington, D.C. emphasized on building resilience in the global value chain. Abolade Salami reports.
The Director General of World Trade Organization WTO, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, is calling for the diversification of global supply chains as global trade feels the bite of geopolitical tensions, sanctions, and restrictions. The WTO DG said in situations when global supply chains try to build resilience by not being too concentrated in one country or the other, there is need to see these as an opportunity to encourage them to spread to more developing countries, because this can be used as a force for inclusion and to bring even small, medium-scale enterprises and women into the value chain.
This study of West Africa, it showed that only 25% of the trade finance needs in West Africa are being met. This is below the average of 40% for the whole of the continent. And if we were to bring up the access to trade finance within West Africa to the overall average of Africa, trade in the region could increase by 8%.
Managing Director, International Finance Corporation, Makta Diop, is of the view that the moment trade facilitation talks between China plus Morocco, China plus Egypt, and China plus Nigeria is of focus. Global value chains can really be a force for inclusion.
I would like to make clear in people's mind that the momentum that we are trying to push is trade to fight poverty, trade to include lower income countries in the supply chain, and the potential in Nigeria to develop the pharmaceutical industry is immense.
Panelists here agree that financial inclusion has spread over several countries, including developing countries, and this has helped create jobs and increase income. But more still needs to be done. From Washington, D.C., Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Building synergy for proper engagements in social volunteering is key to transforming societies. This was part of submission by speakers at a workshop to mark the 31st anniversary of Association of Community Social Volunteers in Abuja. Steve Lonai Nwakolo reports.
These critical players in the social volunteer work have been drawn here by the plight of youths and women who contend with challenges arising from conflicts and wars in the West African sub-region. Some lose their lives, many are displaced, and others lose their livelihoods. This explains why the Executive Director, Association of Community Volunteers International, ASIV, Lamin Mohammed, is seeking volunteerism that will stimulate social development in the society.
Into volunteerism. Our society today, if you ask anybody to do anything, they will say, how much you pay me? Yes, we get together, we say, what? This vision, we are going to set up an institution, an organization that will cater to the needs of our fellow citizens who are suffering from this atrocity.
Other speakers, including the representative of the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, wants Nigerians to move away from the stereotypes and advance relationships that will engender socio-economic development.
Policies is not to be driven for the elite. Policy must have direct impact on the living condition of the people. Our interest in China is China solved one of the most existential challenges that has faced mankind in all history, the challenge of poverty.
For participants, this has been an eye-opener to the ripple effects of conflicts and the tax before volunteers.
Most volunteers are motivated to make differences, and they do it to the sake of keeping others.
I believe volunteering and personal development is very important and also very key to the societal development.
The sensitization efforts, according to ASIF, will strengthen the fight against social injustice and sustainable development in the country. In Abuja, Steve Lonai Nwaokolo, NTA News.
Nigeria's Tobias Muson loses Battle of World Champions in US and Juba from Banks' 27th goal as Middlesbrough trash Norwich in the championship. Let's join our sport desk for details.
World record holder and current world champion in 100-meter hurdles, Tobiloba Musa, opened a 2023 Hartsdale season with a 12.59 seconds effort to finish second in the finals of the Tom Jones Memorial Invitational at the Pierce Beard track in Gainesville. United States near Ali won the race with a time of 12.53 seconds to pick up the gold medal. The Tom Jones Invitational is a major warm-up event for athletics getting ready for the competitive outdoor season.
Their first corner, and Suter wins it, and Iheanacho.
And in football, Super Eagles striker Kelechi Iheanacho scored a consolatory goal for Leicester City in the 75th minute as they lost 3-1 away at Manchester City Saturday. The simple finish ended Iheanacho's 2-month goals drought for the club. Erling Haaland has scored a brace to equal another record as Manchester City increased the pressure on Premier League leaders Arsenal with a 3-1 win over relegation-threatened Leicester City. And Championship top striker Chuba Hakon scored his 27th goal of the season for Middlesbrough, who puts on a 5-star show as they hammer rivals Norwich 5-1 to move up the top in the Championship.
Oh, he slides into the 6-yard box and Akpom scores, and that was far too easy.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Do join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Olajide Bello.